Righto, good morning. It's very loud, and welcome to the August Development and Environmental Services Committee. I'll start off. Do we have any apologies, Matt?
No, we don't, Mr. Chair.
Righto. So the second item is the adoption of the minutes of the previous meeting. Would someone like to move that they are a true and accurate reflection of that meeting? So we're just moved by Councillor Campbell. I'll second. All in favour?
No, we don't.
Against? Carried. Any declarations of interest for today's meeting?
No, Mr. Chair.
Public participation. We have one registered speaker, I believe, who is joining us on Zoom.
That's right, Mr. Chair. We have Rachel from KDC. There she is.
Very good.
Hi, everyone.
That's okay. There were no site inspections, so we'll get straight into DESC 08.1, which is a development application for extension of business hours at the Mcdonald'S in the north of town. Matt, as usual, I will hand over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this application is for McDonald's in Scone to extend their business hours to 24 hours. The application came in on the 28th of April and it was placed on public exhibition for 14 days. And that was from the 6th of May to the 20th of May this year. In response to that, we received a total of 9 submissions from adjoining property owners, raising concerns in relation to the impacts of the proposed changes to the hours of operation, particularly in relation to noise, potential for noise impacts, lighting, concerns about antisocial behaviour, littering and potential for vandalism. Those submissions are summarised within the report, starting on page 9 and 10 of the agenda, and the actual submissions are attached to the report. The McDonald's was originally approved under DA 326 of 2007 as part of also a service station and 3 fast food outlets and a car wash bay. Car wash bay is next door. It was approved on the 7th of February 2008. Condition 10 of the development consent restricted the hours of operation for the site to between 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. So we've undertaken our assessment of the application and we've identified a number of issues with the proposal, particularly around deficiencies with the noise assessment. So we found that I guess the proposed trading hours could potentially result in heavy vehicles parking out on the highway, which could potentially cause noise impacts. We felt that that potential scenario wasn't adequately considered in the noise assessment. There's also concerns about noise from the car park area, with potential for noise from cars slamming doors and people talking loudly, those sorts of things, and also potential for noise being generated from the actual drive-through. So I guess the noise assessment makes assumptions on the behaviour of customers in that area, and we have got concerns that there may be incidents where customers may be creating unacceptable noise. So for that reason, we've actually recommended refusal of the application. Given the potential noise impacts and given the concerns that have been raised by the adjoining neighbours.
Thank you, Matt. At this point, I'd normally hand over to the proponent or their representative. So I'll hand over to you now, Rachel.
Yeah, appreciate that, and thank you for your time today, everyone. This is obviously a brave new world of being on the screen, so I appreciate still being able to present to everyone today. As Matt said, that amenity impacts have been cited as the reasons for the recommendation for refusal here today. We appreciate that there are recommendations within the council officer's report that do mitigate some of these concerns. We note that, as Matt has highlighted, the planning report does raise questions in regard to the acoustic impact provided, and I'm not an acoustic consultant. We engaged with a professional noise acoustic consultant to put that report together and undertake the modelling. From our point of view, we would appreciate the opportunity to respond and clarify some of the queries that council have raised in that application. We haven't received an RFI from council that's given us the opportunity to do that, so we are happy to work with council to provide some clarity and some further information, and as such we are requesting that the committee defer this application today to enable that further work to continue.
Okay, usually in this circumstance, when I'm asked to defer, I agree to. I will just throw it round to my fellow committee members, firstly in the room. Right.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. Look, I would support deferral of the application to give the applicant an opportunity to address the issues that have been raised. I know there's quite a number of issues there, but I think it's fair and reasonable to give that applicant the opportunity.
Councillor Campbell.
Yes, look, I would agree with deferring it, please. I do believe that there are some objections there that do need to be addressed before we could make a proper evaluation and consent. I am concerned about the actual, is there a real need for a 24 hours?
Deferral, not the
I see. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll defer. Yes.
And my councillor on the Zoom, Councillor Abbott.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. No, I'm not in favour of deferral. I think the report was quite plain and clear, and I would go along with council's recommendation that we refuse this application.
Fair enough. So would someone like to move that we defer?
What is Lee going to talk?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry, I missed. I didn't hear Councillor Watt's discussion on deferral.
I'm happy to support the deferral. I'm a bit like you. I think the report is pretty accurate and it's got everything there, but I think anybody has the right to get the answers to their questions before we actually vote on it. So I'll move to defer.
So you move to defer?
Yeah, I'm happy to support that. I also agree with Councillor Watts's statements just there regarding the deferral.
So all those in favour? Aye.
Aye.
Against? Councillor Abbott's vote against is noted. So the matter is deferred. Which brings us on to councillor questions. I'll start with the councillor on Zoom. Councillor Abbott, do you have any questions for this month?
No, I don't this month. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Watts.
I don't either. Thank you.
Councillor Campbell.
No, I don't have any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Nor do I. So that will wrap up this month's Development and Environmental Services Committee meeting. Thank you all for your attendance and your input as ever.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.